delighted to be here today at sunny Plumpton for the Star Sports video blogs for the Cheltenham Festival 2013, and I'm very much in esteemed company. I'm joined by three men that need no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. To my left, we've got Claude Duval, the Punters Pall from The Sun, Tom Lee, Channel 4, the betting expert, and Bill Esdaile, the City AM racing editor. So thanks very much for joining me, gents, and let's just crack on. The showpiece of Tuesday afternoon, and my favourite race of the Cheltenham Festival, is without doubt the Champion Hurdle, and it's all about Hurricane Fly. And the horse I want to lay more than any other horse at this festival is the Fly, as they call it. It's 13 to 8, top price with us at Star Sports. Desperate to get it in the book. 1,000,001 reasons why it's not going to win. Over to you three to tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, history's against him. Only two 9-year-olds have won in the last 30 years. No one's really explained what happened to him last year. I mean, was it jockeymanship that got him beaten, or was he just have an off day or whatever? But no one's ever really... but the way he's won in... I mean, he's won at Leopardstown, I think he's 11 times. He's never been beaten there. I mean, if we were talking about this race, hypothetically, being run at Leopardstown, I mean, he'd be the one to pile into. But Cheltenham, I'm not too sure. Again, I think he's not going to be value. I think the Irish will really pile into him. I don't think he's going to be value. Binocular, he's a bit of an old rogue in my books, and it's a long time since Comedy of Errors regained the Champion Hurdle. That was back in 1975. No horse has done it since. So he, and also Hurricane Fly, they've got the history books to beat. Rock on Ruby, I think the jockey stole the race last year. Zarkanda is a horse I like. He was only 5th in it last year. Nichols is making all the right noises. The horse I like at the odds is Grando A, if I pronounce that correctly.
Well done, Claude. Nicely surrounded by a fellow judge.
Monsieur Duval.
With my French background, you'd expect me to get it right. But I was down at Nicky's the other day, and of course there's two individuals who are not there. One's Darlan, bless him, and of course the other one is Conor Murphy, the man who had the accumulator bet and won 1.25 million, 50 quid, 5 horses, bang, they all went in. He's now in America. He's used the money and he's gone. He's not there either.
Another judge.
But they have a sort of syndicate there for anti-post bets, and I have to tell you that they've piled into this Grando A at about 33 to 1, 20s. The biggest bets in the yard were struck at 14. That tells you that perhaps the people who are actually at the pit head of it all don't fancy Binocular quite so much. They backed this horse. I think what is he now, 6 to 1?
6 to 1,
yeah.
Indeed.
Young, up and coming horse.
Lovely jump.
Jumps like a scalded cat. I mean, I think at the odds he would be my selection.
Okay, Tom. So Claude and I found the winner. Obviously, the price of the favourite here is very much going to depend on whether My Tent and Simon Sig go in early in the day. I assume if those two favourites go in, this could go off a massively short price, the Fly.
Yeah, don't forget the Irish will come over and they will back their horse. Key points to note. Almost you said, well, he's your lay of the meeting. This is almost like the decider, because if it was your lay of the meeting in 2011, you'd have gone skint. If it was your lay of the meeting 12 months ago, clearly you'd have absolutely filled the satchel and then some, as I'm sure you very much did. He's been brilliant this season, whereas last season there was an air of fragility about the horse. This time around, it really has been all systems go. Very much, for example, in the Morgiana at Punchestown, fantastic. Same again at Christmas time in the Festival Hurdle, and again in the BHP Insurance Champion at Leopardstown in January. He really has looked at the top of his game. It might be now that we're seeing him very much in his prime. He's 9 years of age. They've absolutely just got him to concert pitch, and for me, he is the most likely winner. What's going to beat him? Well, I'll give you a couple of just very concise angles into this. Zarkanda, obviously a Triumph winner 2 years ago. He's tough as old boots. To win at Wincanton as he did before Christmas under top weight, that was a hugely creditable performance. On the back of that, then to beat Grando A and Rock on Ruby in the International, you think to yourself, this really is a good horse who not only is very, very good, but is improving. So on the back of that, then to go and win the King, well, that's a perfect preparation.
Stayed on very well last year, eye-catchingly well up the hill as well last year.
Absolutely. So 2 years running, we know that Cheltenham brings out the very best in this horse. You guys like Grando A. I would say a couple of things. I mean, look, he hasn't seen the racecourse a lot in recent times, and what's more, he missed the King well because he had filling in his near fall. So that would have to be just a little bit of an element of concern. I mean, for that reason alone, potentially on track he might drift on the day. Look at Rock on Ruby. That in itself, a knowing look.
Looking a shake of the head as well.
Well, that much is true.
Can I interrupt you? I put this very same argument to NJ Henderson recently, and he gave me that rather knowing look, and he said, "What about see you then?" I mean, he never ran at all, did he?
Listen,
Q-Vega we see, doesn't it?
That's different
when
again.
they've got good enough horses at home to work them with, I don't see.
I don't think Nicky's worried about the fact it's not run.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Last year's winner, Rock on Ruby, from the International, he was only third that day, behind Zarkanda and Grandaway, so there's form to reverse there. And if you look into the situation whereby he did win his prep race, albeit somewhat fortuitously, in obviously a race marred by the fall of Darlan. So Rock on Ruby, as exactly as has been said, I think he perhaps just nicked the race almost last year. You know, it was a great ride, a really fantastic ride. And then Binocular, well, he looks a pale shadow of himself. I mean, he's running the race 3 times with form figures 3, 1, 4. Almost he ought to have won more than one, but I think his time's gone.
I think we're happy to be top price. Anyone is Binocular. I can't see that possibly winning a champion hurdle. Bill, anything a big price?
Yeah, I think just the way the race is going to be run is the key, because there is going to potentially be a lack of pace again, which plays to the speed types of Grand Duret. Looking at Hurricane Fly, he was brilliant 2 years ago. I was against him 2 years ago and he was brilliant. And I remember going to the paddock afterwards thinking this will come back and win 3 of these. And then we've kind of forgotten about him after last year's performance. Maybe he didn't travel, maybe he was sick that day. I think he's definitely the one to beat. I'm a big fan of Grand Duret. If the race is played to speed, which it probably will do, he'll be finishing fastest of all. I think it's between Grand Duret, Zarkanda and Hurricane Fly, and I would probably say Grand Duret is the value each way.
Okay, well, when it comes to the Super 8 competition, I'll speak for me and Claude, or myself and Claude, when I say we're on Grand Duret. Tom?
You can have as much as you want on Grand Duret, but I'd rather back a 6-4 winner than a 6-1 runner-up. Therefore,
I don't think we need to worry about that, do we, Claude? So, Grand Duret for us two, Hurricane Fly for Tom.
Grand Duret for me.
So, in conclusion, Hurricane Fly 6-4, that's at Star Sports. Grand Duret is a 6-1 shot, Rock on Ruby is 6-1, and Zarkanda's 5-1.